Bring in CTV's Jeremy Sharon joining us live from the nation's capital. So, Jeremy, the Prime Minister has made it official, announced the first wave of major projects. Help us break down what we just heard from the Prime Minister.
Yeah, Scott, look, I mean, as you touched on, 5 projects, all, fairly significant. 2 in the mining sector, the LNG project in BC, an expansion to the Port of Montreal, and I'm forgetting one. The other one is the nuclear project in Clarington, Ontario. So 5 major, projects that make it onto this first list that will get pushed to the federal government's major projects office for approval and fast tracking through the proper protocols, and they'll then ensure that they can fast track through the regulatory processes and all the scrutiny that will have to happen for those projects to then move forward and for actual progress to start when it comes to shovels in the ground type thing on some of these projects. The Major Projects Office will also work with ensuring proper Indigenous consultation is happening, financing, all of those things will be part of the process through that government office. The interesting one here is that one of the biggest projects here is the LNG project, the phase 2 of LNG Canada. And I say that because former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau had basically written off Canadian LNG, had said that there was no business case to be made to export Canadian LNG to Europe. This government, the Carney government, has taken a different stance. In fact, they have been in discussions with European countries, Germany in particular, about exporting Canadian LNG, and they have made it clear they believe there are buyers for Canadian LNG, and therefore we're seeing an investment here. We're seeing that that project, the second phase of the Kitimat LNG project, will be part of this first group of 5 projects. The Prime Minister, spoke a lot about LNG today. Here's a little more about what he had to say at today's announcement.
This will directly help transform our country into an energy superpower. This project will double LNG Canada's production capacity and make it the second largest liquefied natural gas facility of its kind in the world. It will diversify our trading partners, help meet global demand for secure, low-carbon energy, and support tens of thousands of new high-paying careers.
And so, that is just one of 5 that were announced today, and those 5 are just 5 of, a longer list that is expected. As you touched on, Scott, the Prime Minister made it clear that by the Grey Cup, we'll kind of hear about the second list. And he also outlined, 5 other potential projects that the federal government is monitoring closely, not ready yet to push to the Major Projects Office, projects that are in the early stages, but things that he believes could be transformative, some of them being the wind project in Atlantic Canada, the high-speed rail between Toronto and Quebec City, as well as the Pathways Plus project, a carbon capture project in Alberta. So, there are a lot of things on the radar, and then the 5 kind of concrete projects that are being pushed to the official office today.
Yeah, so of course today the focus is on these 5 projects that they're announcing, but then of course the next batch of projects, which the Prime Minister says there'll be another list rolled out by Grey Cup in early November. So now just days away from the return of the House of Commons, how do these projects and the ones that the government is saying could be in the next batch ultimately set the stage for the next session of Parliament?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of talk about it. It will continue to be a focus, and it will have to continue to be a focus for this government. The Conservatives will continue to ensure that it is a focus. But the reality is here, Scott, this is the first step. The first step is pushing these 5 projects to the office. Now, the Major Projects Office will have the work to do to fast track, if you will, and ensure that all the approvals are happening in an expedited manner. And then we need to see progress on the projects themselves, not just the approval of the projects and the regulatory work that happens prior to the construction of these projects. So, there are many steps that the federal government still needs to follow through on and kind of check back in on. And so there will be many opportunities throughout this fall session, to continue to hear what kind of progress, if any, is being made on these projects. And then, in no time, we're going to be hearing about the next list of these projects. So absolutely, this is going to drive the conversation and drive what is happening here on Parliament Hill at a time when, the trade war is ongoing. Canadians are struggling when it comes to cost of living and all of these things. All of those things are tied in. They are all tied in, and this is an effort this government says to make Canada less reliant on the U.S., less vulnerable to a trade war like the one we're in right now. So ultimately, this is a long game for this government, they say, and so they will continue to be tested on that.
And ultimately, progress on these projects, as Mark Carney was asked, will be part of the definition of success in the months, years, and ultimately decades to come. CTV's Jeremy Sharon joining us live from the nation's capital. Appreciate you breaking it all down for us.
Anytime.